Hello everybody and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sport. For today's guide on how to watch the South Africa versus Wales, and in fact the entire sort of international season. As you guys know that at this stage, for example, for South Africa versus Wales, the entire series is being shown behind a paywall, which means that unfortunately there's no free-to-air broadcast that is showing the service. However, we have done the research and we have found the cheapest, most cost-efficient way for you to watch all the international rugby you need to over the next sort of month. We've got so many games coming up, and it's actually just going to be absolutely terrific. Yeah, but the biggest thing is that you're going to need a VPN depending on where you are in the world, because the cheapest way to watch, and it'll obviously change depending on where you are. But for example, in the UK, it's being shown on Sky Sports, the South Africa versus Wales series. In South Africa, it's being shown on SuperSport, which is on DStv, and you need a premium package, which is about R1,000 a month. So we are recommending watching it on Flow Rugby. And the big thing about Flow Rugby is that you can, first of all, go on a month-to-month basis, and that it's got everything. It's got everything that you need. Yeah, we recommend getting Flow Rugby, and ExpressVPN is the VPN we recommend using, because Flow Rugby is only available in the United States. But if we look, for example, at their schedule, this is the sort of rugby that you can expect to be able to watch in the coming days. So, for example, immediately tomorrow, they've got the Maori All Blacks taking on Ireland. And as you see over here, it says unavailable in your area, and that is why you need a VPN, because I'm currently in South Africa. So if you do download ExpressVPN and you install it, we've got a special offer down in the comments below. They are giving Forever Sports audience an extra 3 months free if you sign up for a yearly package. And we do videos every week in terms of how to watch rugby on free-to-air channels. So if you go and get yourself a year subscription to ExpressVPN, we will then show you the most cost-efficient way every week to watch rugby. And that includes URC, that includes the end of year tour, for example, the autumn series, which is being shown on Amazon Prime, which is really, really cheap, as well as other competitions, stuff like that. The Rugby Championship will show you guys how to watch that. Certain ones are sometimes shown on like Australian free-to-air broadcast, in which case you'll be able to watch a Springbok game for free. But you do need ExpressVPN, because unfortunately, especially like if you're in South Africa, you know, it's very, very rare that we see international rugby being shown live on free-to-air broadcasters. So if you get Flow Rugby, and it is $30 a month, but you can do it on a month-to-month basis, for example. So if you get $30, if you were to buy a subscription right now, that would last you for the entire month. You'd be able to watch All Blacks versus Ireland. You'd be able to watch, you know, second-tier nations like Germany versus Georgia, Spain versus Poland. But maybe the big ones that people are looking out for are the likes of over here, where we've got on the Saturday second, we've got French Barbarians taking on the USA, for example, Japan versus France. We've got a lot of women's rugby at the moment. Then we've got Spain versus Italy. We've got France taking on Georgia. Then the big ones are sort of over here, which is Australia versus England, South Africa versus Wales, New Zealand versus All Blacks, and that is all being shown on Flow Rugby, as well as Argentina versus Scotland on Sunday, and again, same thing next weekend, Japan versus France, New Zealand versus All Blacks. So all the major tour test series are currently happening, which is Japan versus France, New Zealand versus All Blacks, Australia versus England, South Africa versus Wales, and Argentina versus Scotland. The entire sort of summer or winter series, depending on where you are, the incoming tours, outgoing tours are all being shown on Flow Rugby. So get yourself ExpressVPN, get yourself Flow Rugby subscription. It is the cheapest and most efficient way of watching rugby legally. Because, you know, there's a problem with the legal streams, that they're very unreliable. They go down. So in my opinion, and what I've always done in the past, is just pay a little bit and make sure that you are guaranteed to watch the rugby. And that's the thing. The last thing you want to do is sitting there, you know, the national anthems are on, your stream is buffering, it's not quite working. So do yourself a favor, get ExpressVPN, get Flow Rugby, watch the entire international season. Come watch it live with us. We will be live for all the various games. This weekend we're going to be doing New Zealand versus All Blacks, New Zealand versus All Blacks versus Ireland. We're going to be doing Australia versus England. We will be doing South Africa versus Wales. So we'll be covering a lot of rugby in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be a lot of fun as we get the international season go. Please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. All the links that you need for Flow Rugby, for ExpressVPN, etc., are in the description. So get yourself sorted, get yourself ready, and let's have a phenomenal international season. My name is Steven. Thank you very much for watching. I'll chat to you soon. And welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. For today's preview, as the All Blacks host Ireland in the third and all-important decider in what has probably been the most entertaining incoming sort of series during the last month. And Ireland looking very much to win in New Zealand. And what a massive victory it would be to be one of the first teams ever to go and win a tour in New Zealand. And I think they very much fancy it because, I mean, if you look at the interview from Johnny Sexton last week when they had won, it was more or less, like the job's not done yet type thing. There were celebrations, but they weren't celebrations as if they had won the series or that was all they wanted to do. It was the first step towards completing what many would brand the impossible, in terms of going and beating New Zealand in a 3-match series in New Zealand. But I think that Ireland currently got the momentum. They outplayed New Zealand last week, and New Zealand discipline was really killing them. And I think that this weekend, New Zealand are going to have to work on a lot of different things if they are to go and beat Ireland. And the biggest thing is, for Ireland's point of view, is that they have started so well. If you look at the start they had in the first test, as well as the start they had in the second test, they are starting very quickly and putting a lot of early pressure on the All Blacks. The difference was in the first test, the All Blacks kind of absorbed this pressure and then got into their stride. In the second test, they just never managed to really get into their stride because of so many cards, so many different penalties, so many different disciplinary issues. But the All Blacks have named an incredibly strong side, and it's far more to sort of the side that you kind of expect to see from this New Zealand team at the moment. Ireland very much going with consistency, an injury-enforced placement, which we'll talk about in a bit. But before we do talk about the two teams, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. We will be live for this game on a Saturday morning down here in South Africa at 9 o'clock South African Standard Time. It should be an absolute cracker. In terms of the two teams that we will see take to the park, this is how New Zealand are going to line up, and a lot of big names have been brought back into the side. And I think that it's the New Zealand side which has everything on paper to do the job. And the biggest thing I think that they need to sort of fix again is a lot of disciplinary issues and stuff like that. And in many ways, after last week, it's a lot about nullifying certain Irish players like the likes of Peter O'Mahony, who I thought was absolutely terrific. But if we look at the side in the front row, it is George Bauer, Cody Taylor, and Nepo Laulala. And the second row, gets quite interesting. Sam Whitelock back into the side, starts at 5 next to Brodie Retallick, but Scott Barrett has also been retained in the side and will start at number 6. So it's a very large physical pack that New Zealand are putting out there. Sam Cane will continue to captain the side, and Artie Severe will be looking to play a full 80 or at least a full 60, for example, after a bit of an administration error last week. Although some people are saying a little bit of an officiating error as well meant that he actually only played about 25 minutes last week because of he had to be left off the park due to the red card with the whole tight-head sort of situation with having to have a recognised prop in the park. So I think that was a big blow to New Zealand last week, was losing Artie Severe for such a large portion of the game. If we look at the back line, it is Aaron Smith next to Beauden Barrett, Sevi Reece on number 11, but Will Jordan comes into the side, starts at 14, Geordie Barrett at the back, David Havili at inside centre, Ricky Ioane will make his 50th appearance for the All Blacks in the number 13 jersey. It's a very strong backline. Will Jordan will breakthrough player of the year. Back on the side is a very big move. And if you look on the bench as well, Dane Cole's back, brings a lot of experience. Aiden Ross, Ofa Tuangfase, and then Akira Ioane, Dalton Mapili, and Folau Fakatawa, and Richie Mwanga, and Roger Tuivasa Sheikh, who is on debut for the All Blacks. It's a very strong All Black side. They're very much, going to their big guns. Will Jordan, Sevi Reece, and Geordie Barrett are a back three which would strike the fear to any international team out there at the moment. And I think it's a pack that has been selected to bring a lot of physicality, try and put New Zealand on the front foot, and then let the likes of the back line and even an Artie Severe run amok within the Irish team. If you look at the Irish, they've gone very much with consistency. So it's the same front row that did the job last week. Dan Sheehan is in between Andrew Porter and Tyke Furlong. Andrew Porter was absolutely immense last weekend. Scored a brace, looked really, really good, was very physical with the way he carried the ball, was very good at scrum time, and I think that him and Furlong, again, if they can have sort of games like they had last week, it'll go a long way towards the cause. In the second row, I thought Tyke Byrne was absolutely tremendous last weekend. The running lines he was running, the physicality he brought, absolutely world class. He's next to James Ryan, and then Peter O'Mahony, who's playing probably some of his best rugby he's ever played, in the number 6 jersey. Josh van der Fleer and Kalen Doris are at the same loose chair as last weekend. Jamison Gibson Park will give them a lot of good feed and a lot of front football. And Johnny Sexton is just pulling the strings at the moment. For somebody who is quite old and nearing the end of his career, he just doesn't look like he's slowing down, does he? When he plays like he does at the moment, he just controls a test match. And he's got so much class and ability to be able to just navigate a match. And it's small things, When they've got front football, he sees space like very few fly halves out there does. But even on the defense, he's a very intelligent player and he knows how to get his team out of trouble. There's a lot of experience in that number 10 jersey. James Lowe, Mac Hansen, Hugo Keane are the same back three. However, Bundy Aki comes in for the injured Gary Ringrose, which sees Robbie Henshaw shift to outside centre. Ringrose leaving the field last weekend with injuries, so very big picture to see him and not be able to play this weekend. Off the bench, Rob Harrington, Healy, Finley, Beedham. It's a very tidy and handy reserve front row. Kieran Treadwell, Jack Conan are the two other forward reserves, and then you've got Connor Murray, Joey Carberry, and Keith Earls. I think Connor Murray with Jamison Gibson Park, two very different players, but I think the perfect combination of somebody who will really get this Irish team firing and add a lot of pace and impetus to the game before you're bringing on sort of your game management scrum off. And Mike Connor Murray is very good with tactical kicking, reads the game. He can slow the ball down a lot if he needs to, and just so much experience to be able to seal the game. And hopefully, if they're on the lead, which has kind of been the sort of the case, Ireland very much going out in front quite early, and it's about whether they can stay in front. Let me know what you think is going to happen down the game. Please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Stephen, and I'll chat to you soon. Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports for Super Saturday in many ways. It is the day we've been waiting for quite a long time because we are going to be seeing back-to-back series defining rugby today. We have got All Blacks taking on Ireland, which starts in the next sort of 5 to 10 minutes. We have got England versus Australia after that, and then we have got Wales versus South Africa today at 5 o'clock. And then Argentina versus Scotland tonight. So we have got a pretty jam-packed day full of rugby, and hopefully we are going to see a very, very tight and close affair as Ireland look to try and win a series in New Zealand for the first time ever. A series win for Ireland in New Zealand, and two very, very good sides that have been picked here. And I think that New Zealand don't often lose two matches at home in a row. So I think the pressure is probably still on Ireland. New Zealand probably still the favourites. However, pressure is a very strange thing. We've just crossed there now to the end of the anthems there. Johnny Sexton's got a bit of a smirk on. And when Johnny Sexton's got a bit of a smirk on, usually you can expect a pretty decent and big performance from the former World Player of the Year. The Green Army is there. We've got the New Zealand anthem coming underway, and then we will have kickoff. In terms of the lineups, there have been a couple of late changes to the New Zealand side. No Scott Barrett, which means that Akira Awani comes onto the starting lineup, as well as and his spot on the bench is taken by Tupou Vai, and Carl Tunukuafe has also come onto the bench as well. So if we look at the two sides, starting with the home side, New Zealand have gone with George Bowell, Cody Taylor, and Nepo Lualala on the front row. Brody Metallic and Sam Whitelock. The two locks, Akira Awani is joined by Sam Kame and Artie Severe to complete a pretty formidable loose chair, although I think they will miss a bit of physicality in the likes of Scott Barrett. Aaron Smith, Bowden Barrett, the halfback pairing, Sevi Rees, David Havili, Rico Awani, Will Jordan, and Geordie Barrett make up the rest of the backline. Will Jordan coming into the side, and I think he's going to add a lot to the New Zealand side. Was the World Breakthrough Player of the Year last year, and I think he's probably a lot of what they've been missing in the last game, because I think he's going to be very direct. He's going to be, obviously brings a lot of pace, and he's an absolute world-class finisher. Off the bench is Dan Coles, who's into the side. Cole Tukunukuafe, as we mentioned. Ofa Tungafasi, Tupavai, Dalton Papili, Falau Fakatava, Richie Mwanga, and Roger Tuvasa Shek. For the Irish, it is an unchanged side, apart from a rejig in the centre pairing. So it's the same pack as last week. Andrew Porter, Dan Sheehan, Tyke Furlong. You then got Tyke Burr and James Ryan in the second row. Peter O'Mahony, Josh van der Vliet, and Gary Doris complete the loose trio. The halfback combination of Jamison Gibson Park and Johnny Sexton will add a lot of pace and impetus to the Irish attack. James Lowe is on the wing. Bundy Aki, Robbie Henshaw, your two centers. Hugo Keenan at full back. Off the bench, Rob Herring, Cian Healy, Finley Beedham, Kieran Treadwell, Jack Conan, Connor Murray, Joe Carberry, and Keith Earls. And then Mac Hansen also in the number 14. So we're waiting to see the haka, and then we will have kickoff. But I want to know what your score predictions are. Let them put them down in the comments. Let me know who you're supporting. Let me know what you think is going to happen in the match. Who are you backing? And I think that, I'm hoping we're going to see a really, really high quality rugby because, it's a game that's absolutely stacked with a lot of different action. And if we can get a good game going today, then hopefully that'll set a very nice tone for the rest of the day. I see Alvin Lingers in the comments. I see Thomas Lucas here. Connor Slave saying, damn, South Africa's only finished third in the rankings. Alvin Lingers going Box by 8, Ireland by 2, England by 4, Scotland by 9. So he's going for all Northern Hemisphere victories apart from the South African game. Sean Morris says, good day, chaps. Are we all strapped in and ready for a rugger-filled day? I'm pretty strapped in. I think we're in for quite a cool day, and I'm very excited to hopefully see a couple of big moments because with all 4 Southern Hemisphere stars looking for series victory today, they're gonna be pretty historic. It's so difficult to go away and win a series in another country. So, it's a big day for Ireland, big day for Wales, big day for England, and a big day for Scotland. And I think this, Ireland and Wales probably the two sides who probably weren't given much of a chance of actually winning their series. I don't think anybody really sort of expected Wales to pull off a victory. I don't think too many people expected Ireland to still be in the running here. I think a lot of people reckon that Ireland could have found a victory in like the third test, for example. I'm not sure people would have expected them to have won the second test. And why, as soon as the game's about to go, does my feet start going down? Come on. Come back. There it is. The referee today is Wayne Barnes. He's been assisted by Carl Dixon and Christopher Ridley. And Tom Foley is the TMO. Kickoff is just a few seconds away. We've got a poll running in the comments as well, so please go and vote on that as well. Ireland would become just the third team to win a 3-match test series. South Africa did it in 1957, Australia did it in 1986. That is how significant this series victory could be. And the last time the All Blacks lost consecutive home matches was in 1998. So 24 years. This could very much be history in the making. We have seen Ireland start very well so far this series. So let's see if they can try and start that well again. And kickoff. Johnny Sexton going down the left-hand side of the park, and it's an early touch for, I think it's Will Jordan there. And first kick of the day from Aaron Smith, who doesn't find touch. Early touch here for Hugo Keenan. Lucas keep ball in hand here. Jameson Gibson Park gives it off to James Ryan. Now Johnny Sexton first one. He gives it off to Bundy. Aki comes into the side in place of Gary Ringrose, who is injured, which sees Robbie Henshaw move to outside centre. That's a very good run there by Caelan Doris. Quick ball there from Gibson Park. Sexton going to Hugo Keenan. Hugo Keenan popping it off to Henshaw. Henshaw, Peter O'Mahony. And Bowden Barrett has decided to jump in there in between James Lowe. It's a very important interception there from the number 10. It is turnover possession. He's inside the 22. Lola carrying it up now, getting a bit of a better angle. Before we see Aaron Smith going back to Havili in the pocket there. And Havili's not the best clearance. They won't be outside the 22. So a very nice early opportunity for Ireland to attack. Really good run this from Caelan Dawes. Bit of show and go. Slips the first tackle. And quick ball. A couple of really good touches here. The very nice line being run there by Henshaw. Gets away to Peter O'Mani. If Peter O'Mani gets that offload away to James Lowe, I reckon they go all the way. Although he did have Burton Barrett on his right shoulder, but it could have been pretty interesting. And a bit of a worrying sign here for All Blacks. They do have a player down early on, so they've already seen a couple of changes. We've got James Ryan. And then Bundy Aki on the angle. Gibson Park go to Caelan Dawes. Caelan Dawes. Big hit there from Burton Barrett. Gibson Park goes to Andrew Porter. Scored a brace last weekend. That's a really, really good turnover there by Nepaleo Lala. Pretty poor breakdown work by Ireland. And turnover ball here. New Zealand looking to spread it. They've got a 2-on-1 situation here. Sevi Reese coming inside, but they're going back for a penalty for Ireland. I didn't hear the whistle, so I'm not surprised that a couple of other people didn't. So it's tackle off the ball. And that's pretty frustrating from a New Zealand point of view, because we saw how bad the discipline was last week. Which is what really cost them the game. So you can see the pretty pointless early penalty as well is not the start they would have liked. Good morning, Cameron. Hope you're well. Right, so that's towards the 5 meter. Dan Sheehan. Goes James Ryan. Very sharp here from All Blacks, but I'll look to try and get them all set. Now they're getting a bit of momentum. And once again, they are over and they've scored. Goodness me. This Irish side has scored within the first 5 minutes, I think, of all 3 tests now. And it's Josh van der Fleer who's actually scored it. And another perfect start for Ireland. Well, once again, if New Zealand are going to win, they will have to come from behind like they did in the first test, like they couldn't do in the second test. And that one, as I said, once they were set, there was only one way they were going. And I think in many ways, for example, this try for me is a bit of a sign that this New Zealand side can be taken on, because I think that the pack at the moment is just not fronting up physically enough. We've really seen an Irish pack go over and actually dominate a lot of the collisions. And set piece wise, Ireland have been very, very successful. And if Johnny Sexton does slot this, he will bring up 1,000 test points. What an absolute, what a player. Legend of the game is Johnny Sexton. And if he could pull this off today, I think he'll also rank pretty highly in his career in terms of highlights. And he does have a lot of highlights. Right, Johnny Sexton from about 20 meters in field has hooked it, actually. It's a pretty poor attempt from the fly half. But it's the perfect start. It's the perfect start. Campus says, I can't watch the game. My toddler's watching cartoons. Let's follow game forever. Yeah, life of a parent, eh? Life of a parent. My kid will be watching the rugby. I don't care how old they are. No cartoons for you on a Saturday morning. It's rugby time. All right, the restart from Bowden Bag going towards the right-hand side. It's Bundy Aki underneath it. And he gets up towards the edge of the 22, but it'll still be inside. So Gibson Park can find touch. Doesn't find touch. Inside ball to Bowden Bag. Bowden Bag going towards the right-hand side. Aaron Smith now going to Lala. So a tackle by him and Dan Sheehan. Now cross kick going across towards Rico Awani. And Mac Hanson's got in the air. Looks like it's a knock on from the number 14. They do recycle to Artie Severe. He was brought down just by the 10 meter. In fact, he's still going. He's still going. He's still going. And it's a high tackle against Caden Doris. It is a penalty for New Zealand. Right, so now an opportunity for New Zealand to get into Ireland's half and start causing them a bit of trouble. And Sam Whitelock into the side, which I think will help a lot of their line-out issues. Now, Burton Barrett employing the box tactics of going up in the air. It's very far. And Hansen has marked it. You see, now, if that was the box, the fans would be absolutely losing their mind. Bowden Barrett with front football decides to put it in the air, and Mac Hansen has taken it and marked it. And Hansen has found touch just outside the 22. It's so interesting that we're seeing New Zealand employ exactly what South Africa do, basically. And it was a pre-called move off the back. They put it in the air, and Hansen, I mean, look, the ball was swirling up there, so it's a very good take from him. But you do start to feel it's a bit of a wasted opportunity. Oh, it's starting line up there from Ireland as well. I think it's Tyke Byrne. You just can't do anything wrong this tour. Gibson Park goes to Sheehan. Now Gibson Park will use his boots. Try and get them further up the park. He goes pretty long. It will be contestable, though. And Hansen goes up, but it's very well taken up the air from Bowden Barrett. James Ryan up to put him under a bit of pressure. It is available for Aaron Smith. Goes down the short side to Artie Severe. Another strong carry from the number 8, who missed out a lot of the game yesterday, last week, due to the red card. So we'll be hoping to play a bit of a more important role today. Aaron Smith goes to the boot. And it's a high hanger there. And it's going back towards the side of the All Blacks. Sam Whitelock comes with. Aaron Smith gives it away to Sam Cane. Sam Cane starts to put his head down, go himself. And Bundy Aki's over the ball in a very strong position, but actually wasn't over the ball itself. And that's a penalty right in front of the pole. So we think we'll see 5-3 here. It's against Bundy. I don't think it's actually against Bundy Aki. Hands on the rack is the call. Come on, Stephen. What's your problem? Ireland beat the Kiwis last week. And Geordie Barrett looks like he's going to take the 3 here. John, your look says, surely the Springboks can't lose to the All Blacks next month. I mean, they definitely can. But I must admit, I do think it's an All Black side that look, it doesn't help that we're not playing the best rugby at the moment. But I do feel that if we were to put in a reasonable performance, it's an All Black side that can very much be taken on at the moment. I definitely think it's 2 winnable games. Back-to-back games at home. One in Mbombela, one in Ellis Park, which is like the best place for the Boks to play against New Zealand. So I do think that we've got a very good opportunity to try and do the double over New Zealand. And he's missed it. How has he missed that? I mean, it's basically bang in front. Johnny Sexton with the restart, putting a bit of pressure under Rico Awani, and the ball comes back, and Peter Omani has got his hands on it. There is a knock-on advantage, so you will have our first scrum of the day. Camus is not just part of missing kicks at the moment. No, well, we've seen Johnny Sexton miss one that he would have backed himself to have gotten, and then Geordie Barrett is also obliged. Right, first scrum of the day. Can Angie Porter and Tyke Fillon really get into Nepolo Lala and George Bauer? I think they're I think they're props, which for example, I think South Africa will be looking forward to coming against things. I really do think that that's a little bit of the of where they're being let down a bit. Well, it's a free kick to New Zealand. I think it's against Tiger Furlong. John Locke says, I blame the haircut, no trim because no kicking ability. Well, they're going to take another scrum here on New Zealand. Quite a lot of talking going on between the likes of Will Jordan, David Habili, Rieko Ioane. And we finally do have a first scrum. They go to Will Jordan off the back of the scrum. Quick ball here for Aaron Smith. Cody Taylor carrying it up now. New Zealand progressing towards the 22. First carry of the day for Rieko Ioane. Late addition to the starting lineup. Aaron Smith out to Cody Taylor once again. He spins away from the tackle very well. And Artie Severe has knocked it on as he tried to pick up and go. So yeah, New Zealand very much trying to up the tempo of the game, and Artie Severe just wanted to try and pick up and go off the back of a bit of a loose ruck, and has lost the ball forward. And says, calm down, Wayne Barnes. We know you are trying to stand authority in the game, but this is not a democracy. All right, big scrum here now for Ireland just outside the 22. It's pretty solid. Gibson Park goes pretty flat to Johnny Sexton. Johnny Sexton goes to Henshaw. Henshaw goes to Mac Hansen. Mac Hansen's kick is charged down, and Sam Kane has come away with it. Pops it up to Artie Severe. It's a nice offload. Artie Severe shows a massive dummy and goes himself. Offloads to Aaron Smith. Aaron Smith goes to Rieko Ioane. There's a bit of space down the side of Geordie Barrett. Kicks it back inside. And it's well covered by Hugh Keenan, who needs to get a good kick in under pressure. He does find a very good, very, very, very tidy clearance. Under a lot of pressure. That's a really good intervention there from Hugo Keenan. It's a good break down the side of Geordie Barrett. He runs out of space, starts kicking in field. And it's well covered by Hugo Keenan. Under a lot of pressure from Rieko Ioane. Finds a very good clearance up towards... That's a fantastic clearance, actually. It's on the 10-meter. Okay, it's a bit of a messy lineup, but it is available for the All Blacks. On the halfway line, Rieko Ioane puts his head down, brought down by the two Irish props. Smith, quick ball to Artie Severe. Smith goes back to Beauden Barrett. Beauden Barrett Puts in another up and under, which is drifting quite far. Oh, it's a fantastic contest by Will Jordan. You can't pick it up off the ground. Hugo Keenan comes away with it under a lot of pressure. Needs a bit of support. It is available. So that time, the up and under, that was much better weighted from Vernon Barrow. It was nice and testable. Caelan Doris creating a bit of a better angle for Jamison Gibson Park. And under a lot of pressure at the moment. He goes back to the pocket to James Lowe. And James Lowe does find touch with that big left boot of his just outside the 22. Well, the ball goes over the top and it's picked up. Well, it's almost tempted to pick up by Bowden Barrett. So we do have a knock on. It is available for Ireland. Gibson Parks a bit of space. There's a long pass out to James Lowe. And James Lowe, well, where has that gone out? Where has that gone out? Ireland will be asking for a 50-22. It is a 50-22. That is an absolutely sensational kick. Right up against touchline. That's 22 from 22. And his ball just runs. Ooh. I think it could be outside, by the way. I'm going to have a check on the replay here. Well, it wasn't a 52, so it was a line to New Zealand, but I think a couple of Irish hands have got their hands all over this. So if this goes down, this could be turnover ball, you know. I don't think this ball's coming out. Yep, turnover ball. That's really good work from the Irish pack. Well, it's Dan Sheehan. I'm seeing Ty Byrne in there. I think I'm seeing Ty Furlong in there as well. No, it's Peter O'Mahony. Peter O'Mahony. Of course it is. Well, it's not the good news. Peter O'Mahony seems to be under quite a lot of pain, and he's been absolutely sensational for Ireland. So there'll be a massive loss if he can't continue. And when we do resume, Ireland will have a scrum just outside the All Blacks 20 on the far left-hand side within full width of the field to work with. Gibson Park puts the grabber behind. That's very well read by Aaron Smith, though. Under a bit of pressure, though. He's still under a bit of pressure. Hasn't got out of it yet. And the right, it's just out of the 22. I mean, he read it like a book. That was a really good intervention by Aaron Smith. Now, Artie Severe creates a bit of an angle as well as gives him an opportunity to get Aaron Smith out of the bottom of the ruck. Aaron Smith is there. Goes back to Jordy Barrett in the pocket. That's a very, very, very good kick from Jordy Barrett. He finds touch half between the 10-meter and the halfway line. Yeah, I mean, he read it so well with Aaron Smith. Was sweeping behind the back there. It was not bad. Worst option to put in the glove in behind. But Aaron Smith was very aware to the threat and snuffed it out quickly. Big carry there from Mundiak. It's a good tackle on him from Sam Kane. They go to the short side. Caden Doris. Gives the park back into Dan Sheehan. Steps away from one. He's still going. Debate will pick up and go from Ty Byrne. This is really good continuity here from Ireland. There's no scrum off, so Dan Sheehan does come and help out. Takes it up himself. Frees up Jamison Gibson Park. This pass goes to Sexton. Sexton sees a bit of space on the left-hand side. And it's just stayed inside. Will Jordan right up against the touchline. Won't find touch down the throat of Johnny Sexton. Johnny Sexton shows him, goes himself. Gets away from one, pops it up to Jamison Gibson Park. There's a bit of space down the short side as well. Kellen Doris dummies and comes inside. Runs a bit towards a bit of support. So I'm looking to keep ball in hand here. Gibson Park goes to Dan Sheehan. He's wrapped up by Kira Wani. Gibson Park now to Sexton. Sexton, his turn to put it up and under. Mac Hansen chasing very hard. And he does shot it back to Gibson Park. And it's knocked backwards. So Ireland have one possession back. But Whitelock has managed to intervene and turn over possession. Now they're kicking behind from the All Blacks. Mac Hansen is chasing hard. He's under a lot of pressure, but the ball does go out. And it will be a 50-22. So that's a brilliant kick. I was trying to see who it is. Yeah, it's Savili. There was nobody back, and the ball just bubbles, and eventually runs out. So that's a brilliant intervention from the inside centre, who is one inside a line out just inside the 22. And he pops it up for Sam Kane to Cody Taylor, who brings it. It's a pretty poor pass. And Rico Awani's lost a lot of momentum there. But All Blacks still have it. Sam Kane, pick him and go. Ty Burns all over that, but well cleaned out. And Smith pops it up to Akira Awani. Pick up and go from Ollie Severe, but he's dropped it. But it's a penalty. And it's against Johnny Sexton. Now, this is even easier than the earlier attempt. It's pretty much the same line, but this time about 20 yards out. So I think this will probably be a 3-pointer if New Zealand to reduce the gap down to 2 points. Johnny Sexton, the Irish captain, being penalised there for not rolling away. Well, he gives it a big thump. And it sails straight through the middle. And I think it was a bit of a look at the officials there. I don't think he was very impressed. His first kick was ruled out. But New Zealand do have some points at the board. They reduced the deficit to just 2 points. So Irish still with a 2-point lead after 22 minutes. Right, Johnny Sexton with the restart goes towards the left. James Lowe was circling, but Oliver Taylor takes it pretty well. Brought down by Caelan Doris. That's a much better carry there from the lock. Now, Sam Whitelock this time. And Smith going to Bowden back. Quick hands here. Geordie Barrett cutting inside, getting away from 2 defenders, eventually brought down by Gibson Park. Good hands there from Lala. Havili now with the reverse pass. There goes out to Kirawani. He brings in Will Jordan, who's been hacked down. And Hugo Keenan gives it inside Johnny Sexton. Johnny Sexton with a bit of time. Bring up the old-fashioned torpedo, but it's not a particularly good kick from Johnny Sexton. So that's good field progression there from the All Blacks. They got a very attack at the front of the line-out. Ready ball there to Havili. Strong tackle on him from Josh van der Fleer. Good evening, Marius. Alan Capcock injured here. He is. I think it was said to miss. I'm not sure he's going to be back for the Rugby Championship. As far as I know, he is injured. Smith goes to Bauer. Big quick hands. A lot of players out wide, but Havili goes to himself. I used to be a pick up and go. He seemed doing quite a lot. Now Rieko Ioane on the shoulder, playing his 50th test for the All Blacks. Josh van der Fleer, though, has gotten all over that ball and turned it over. Ty Brenner's popped it up to Hugo Keenan. He's got it away to Mac Hansen. Mac Hansen under a lot of pressure here. They're going to go back for a penalty, I think it is. Yeah, for offside. So that's a big reprieve there for Ireland. A lot of pressure. It's a really good turnover by Josh van der Fleer. Jean says, crazy how the All Blacks have adopted the box scorpion tactics, but it seems to be working. Ireland looks shaky under the high ball. Momentum in New Zealand at the moment, yeah, very much so. I'd say it's very much one-way traffic at this stage. So this is an important, I mean, they can see the 3 penalties in the row to Ireland, so I haven't really been able to get back towards playing in New Zealand territory, but Johnny Sexton will find touch in the All Blacks half, just past the 10-meter line, so an opportunity now for Ireland to get back on the front foot. Yeah, it's a good turnover from Josh van der Fleer. The pass back from Ty Burman was putting a lot of pressure on the Hugo Keenan. Mac Hansen, again, was under a lot of pressure as well before the penalty came in. So it's just before the 10-meter line. And Sheehan is going to look to probably find Ty Burman, I'd imagine. It's a really well worked line. They got Peter Marnie at the back, and they've got a bit of a run here to Ireland. Pretty well said more. And penalty advantage as well. So Gibson Park gives it to Bundy Aki. Bundy Aki to Johnny Sexton. Johnny Sexton to Mac Hansen. Good hands here so far. Hugo Keenan around the wraparound. James Lowe gets around the outside of Geordie Barrett up towards 22. Gibson Park inside of Sexton. Pretty flat. Sheehan, who goes to Bundy Aki. Bundy Aki cuts inside. Gibson Park goes to the short side. Mac Hansen cuts out to go some low. Inside ball to Hugo Keenan. Hugo Keenan! He's over! And the Irish have their second. I mean, what a brilliant, brilliant piece of handling there. I think it's the cutout ball here from Mac Hansen. Inside ball to Hugo Keenan. He's still had a lot to do. He's still had a lot to do. It's a really good finish from the Irish fullback. And I'll tell you what, whenever Ireland do have ball in hand, they look so dangerous. I mean, there's a couple of wraparound runs there. Hugo Keenan inside from James Lowe. Then just one phase towards the inside. And you can see, and it's really good awareness from Gibson Park, who spotted there was it was a 3-on-2 situation, and the cut-up pass to James Lowe takes out Will Jordan. Barrett's up quickly. Inside to Hugo Keenan. Aaron Smith gets across, as does Will Jordan, but they're too late, and Hugo Keenan just carries them over the line. I think if Ireland can keep Yeah, if Ireland keep the ball in hand, I think they're going to win this match. Because every single time they've got ball in hand, they're looking very dangerous. So if they get more opportunities like this, I don't think they're going to stop at 2 tries. Charles Ireland winning to the 2023 World Cup. Well, to be fair, Ireland have always got that habit of peaking a year too soon. So are we seeing that? Sexton from up against touchline. This is going to straighten, come back a bit, and that's a very, very good conversion from the Irish captain. 12 points to 3 after almost half an hour. Waiting for Lolala here. He's had quite a lot of strapping on his left knee. Barrett gets the game underway again. Goes towards the right side, and there'll be another touch for Bundyaki. Quite a few players New Zealand heritage here, so this would be massive to them. The likes of Jamison Gibson Park, James Lowe, Bundyaki. Lowe does bring out that very large left boot of his. It's a very good touch finder, but New Zealand will take it quickly inside from to Beauden Barrett. Looks like Sam Cane on the outside. Because he's got the headband. I'd be surprised if it was. And penalty for Ireland. Penalty for Ireland. Not around the ruck as the call there from Wayne Barnes. Right, what are Ireland going to do? It's just inside of the half on the right-hand side. Are they going to go for the corner or are they going to go for the 3 points? I think we could see Sexton going for the corner here. No, they're going to take a shot. They're going to take the points here. Smart decision. There was a bit of a discussion about whether they back themselves going to the line. But personally, 12 points to 3. Get yourself 15 points to 3. Yeah, it's a very easy penalty to give to Beauden Barrett. Beyond the ruck is the call. He's not even involved in the ruck, and he's going and taken out Andrew Porter, who has milked it. He has milked it. He was definitely at that penalty one way or another. Jean says Scott Robinson probably on standby at this point. Well, it would be very interesting to see if Ian Foster does manage to keep his job if they do lose the series. Right, big kick is from Sexton. And Sexton up for this. His Marshall shoots very well. It's looking good. Yep, and it's over. It's over. Ireland keep the scoreboard ticking. 15 points to 3 after 32 minutes. Yeah, but this is the kind of game that Johnny Sexton just absolutely thrives in. I mean, they made the documentary about Dan Carter. I think it was like the perfect 10. I tell you what, these days I don't think Johnny Sexton is far behind Dan Carter in terms of when he's playing his best, how he can play. He can just manipulate games so well. It is a conversation we're gonna have to have. The difference is Dan Carter's got so much to his all the honors boards. James Lowe is very good. Oh, he's just slapped down Cody Taylor just for good measure there. Only getting outside of 22. Johnny Sexton can't go into touch, so he lifts it high. It will be a contestable. Mac Hansen underneath there. Sevi Reese has knocked it backwards. Aaron Smith under a bit of pressure. But forced to Beauden Barrett. He goes inside to Sam Whitelock. He goes to Geordie Barrett. Geordie Barrett squaring up a couple of forwards. And James Ryan as well to get his arms around. But they do get the ball out to Akira Awani. All Blacks on the 10-meter line of Ireland here. Beauden Barrett shifting it. There's a bit of space out wide. But Havili does take it himself. Rico Awani playing his 50th test today for the All Blacks. But so far, it's good defensive from Ireland. They actually lost a bit of gain line here, have New Zealand. Barrett to Sam Cane, the captain. Aaron Smith, quick ball there to Havili. That's a bit better from the All Blacks. Right, cross kick there from Barrett towards Sevu Reece. He's timed it very well. It's a good tackle from Ringrose. But they have progressed a couple of meters here, All Blacks. And Retallick can't hold on. Turnover ball. Henshaw swings it out towards Hugo Keenan. But not much up. Hugo Keenan just pumps it down the park. And it's a Barrett goes inside to his brother. Burton's looking to run. He's got Will Jordan outside him. Will Jordan going to Kiriawani. And Tyke Furlong comes across to make a very, very useful tackle. Burton Barrett, quick ball here from the All Blacks. Pre-direct. Geordie Barrett. It's a strong tackle from Caelan Doris, but it's quickly recycled. Aaron Smith going to Burton Barrett. Burton Barrett seeing a bit of space in behind. Yeah, it has turned Mac Hansen. He's got a bit of time. But I think he's going to find touch here. Yeah, he won't find touch. Burton Barrett cutting inside. Irish defense trying to get back into. That's a very good tackle there. It's a fantastic tackle. And I think he might be able to. Looked like they're trying to win a penalty. There was a really good chop tackle there for, I think it was Hugo Keenan. Geordie Barrett doing a bit of forwards work here with a couple of runs. George Bauer now. Josh Van der Veer lurking. Ball comes out. Aaron Smith, while taken by Awani, goes to Will Jordan. Will Jordan, long ball at the top. And the kick from Havili has come off the foot of Bandiaki and gone out. So it will be a New Zealand line out. Well, it's better hands here from New Zealand, but credit to the Irish, the defense is holding firm so far. And Ireland have poached it once again. Dan Sheehan going on a run towards the halfway line. Gibson Park giving it to Sexton. Sexton short to Bundy Aki. Back to Sexton. Long ball out towards Hugh Keenan. Keenan stabs the head. Mac Hansen is chasing hard. And Will Jordan will try and clean up. But Hansen does rein him in. All Blacks all the way back to deep within inside that 22. Smith, all about going to the pocket, goes to Leolado. Tries to get the offload away, but that'll go forward. That is criminal. To try and do, I mean, basically try to get his arms above the defender and pop it inside in your own 22 when you're under pressure is pretty criminal from your tight head prop. But that is a brilliant win from James Ryan and really good handling here as well. And so, like I said, Doc on Sessions' career, I'm in for that as well. Christ says the gap is definitely closed between the North and South. Yeah, I think we've seen the Northern Hemisphere sides catching up a bit. I do think it's a pretty poor New Zealand side at the moment, but this Irish side are just cooking at the moment. Yeah, it's to try and attempt that offload when you're under pressure like that is really, really poor. I'd be absolutely fuming if I was the coach watching my tight head prop trying to do that. Big scrum there, big scrum there. It's right in front of the poles. So a scrum penalty would be massive for Ireland, but they've got options right and left. I think Bundy Aki's on the right, so that's the one that I'm sure New Zealand will be monitoring quite closely. Johnny Sexton is on the left with Aki. On the right, we've got Keenan next to Henshaw. Well, Gibson Park does get it. He goes towards pretty flat to Keenan. And Caelan Doris now. He gets over the advantage line. Really strong carry from the number 8. Gibson Park goes pretty flat to Sheehan. Oh, and Bundy Aki in the gap. And they're through. It's Henshaw. The third try of the match. That is beautifully worked. Bundy Aki, who is, is traditionally the Ireland's strongest crash ball, has come today with the hands. With the hands. Chaps, we're following the wrong player here. They're putting the camera on Hugh Keenan. But it's this show. Sheehan with the hands. Bundy actually takes the gap and most unselfish ever. Just lines up Geordie Barrett and then pops up to his centre partner. What a line being run by Aki. Nice little deft touch from Sexton. Lines that Geordie Barrett commits him. Brings in Robbie Henshaw rather. $20 points to 3. 20 points to 3 with a conversion to come. Not the most difficult conversion either. $22 points to 3 at 38 minutes. If they go into halftime like this, the rollicking the All Black side are going to get from the coaches. But this is just really good rugby. The defense is pretty ordinary. It's Will Jordan. No, it's not. It's Beauden Barrett. Beauden Barrett was lurking and looking to try and find an interception. And as a result, he's created a massive gap that Bundy Aki has taken as he takes the restart. And he says, you love to see it. You do love to see it, don't you? Jean says, the consequence of SA teams leaving Super Rugby is on display. Campos says, hugely going to half-time, but if any team can come back as New Zealand, 100%. There comes Beauden Barrett trying to inject a bit of pace to the game. It's a really good line being run there by Havili. All Blacks up to 10-meter line. And Rico Awani has knocked it on. And Mac Hansen has just stabbed it in behind, find a bit of a touch finder. How many knock-ons have we seen today from New Zealand? It's been sloppy. It's been really sloppy. It's been a long time since you've seen the New Zealand side as sloppy as this one. Adam says, brilliant. This is huge for Ireland. Mario says, does the All Blacks have a red card again? Nope. No card so far this game. Aaron Smith going short to Havili. Havili going to Artie Severe. Beauden Barrett coming around. Long pass out to Will Jordan. Last 30 seconds of the half. That's a big counter ruck coming in from Ireland. They have turned the ball over, in fact. They're waiting for a scrum off to arrive. And he does in the form of Kellen Doris. So Ireland will be able to run the clock down here. It's just so many. That's all the different offloads. You just never know who the ball carrier is going to be. Gibson Park goes short to Sheehan. Lines up Sam Kane. Going to the short side once again, but Henshaw decides, no, we're going to get cut inside to Josh van der Fleer. Who, despite his size, is a very, very strong ball carrier. Gibson Park goes to Sheehan. Had a very good half. Looks like a bit of a high tackle there. And Sam Kane wins a penalty at the breakdown. So as the hooter goes, the All Blacks will have an opportunity to try and kick into the Ireland's half and have one more go at trying to reduce the deficit before half-time. John says, I've never seen such a poor All Black side. This is unreal. Terry G says, very true, and Irish players benefiting from playing SA teams. Tian's going 50 points to 3, 53-3. Right, big opportunity up for New Zealand. They need to try and bring this deficit down before half-time. 19 points is a long way away, isn't it? But if that becomes 12 points, suddenly becomes a bit more achievable, especially if they were to score first in the second half. First things first, they're going to try and find a try here. It is contested, but it comes down to, it's a very, passing from Aaron Smith is just so crisp, isn't it? Oh, but it's skew. The line is skew. And I think that kind of sums it up, doesn't it? Every single time New Zealand have an opportunity, every single time they've got a big chance to try and make it right, they make a mistake. And there we go. Right on the brink of half-time, big opportunity to try and reduce the deficit and get yourself back into the game. And Cody Taylor's put in the line of skew, which means that Ireland will have a scrum, and they'll be able to recycle this and kick it out. And if they can do that, they'll walk into the changer with a 19-point lead and 40 minutes away from an incredible away series victory in New Zealand. The first time New Zealand would have lost in consecutive matches since 1998. They'll be just the third side in history to win a 3-test series in New Zealand after South Africa in 1936 and Australia in 1986. Those are what the stakes are. Tim says, this is what happens when you don't play SAP team in Super Rugby. Sean says, will this coaching staff for the All Blacks stay intact after this game, you think? I think they're going to be under a lot of pressure. It's going to be very difficult to justify why they should stay. And Gibson Park goes back to James Lowe, and James Lowe will just chip that out, and Ireland will run to the change room with a 19-point lead. Well, I expected Ireland to be competitive. I didn't expect them to be 19 points ahead at half time. What a half from the Irish. Johnny Sexton will have a lot to say about his lads. 40 minutes, and they could be making history. For the All Blacks, they've got 40 minutes to try and save a lot of face. And we look at our poll, they were backing the All Blacks to go all the way. So of the 108 votes, 59% people did think that the All Blacks were going to win. So that's not looking too likely at the moment. We are going to take a break, so we'll be back after a few minutes. Please make sure you smash a like on the video. We're sitting on 21 likes. Let's try and get that up towards the 50 mark. And I'll see you guys in a few minutes. And we are back. Hello, everybody, and you are not dreaming. That scoreline, 22 points to 3, is correct. All Blacks are 40 minutes away from losing a series against Ireland unless they can pull off a 19-point comeback. I mean, who would have thought this? I mean, I think we thought that Ireland were going to be competitive. I think we thought we were in for a great game. I don't think what we thought we were going to see is Ireland absolutely outclassing the All Blacks. And personally, I am now almost becoming more excited for the end of year tour than I am for the Rugby Championship, because we're going to be playing against this Irish side, which are playing electric rugby. We're going to play against the French side, which are playing electric rugby, England, and then obviously Italy. But I mean, at this rate, I think the Northern Hemisphere are very much throwing the gauntlet down and saying that, listen, we are now actually, this is a bit of a rugby resurgence here for us. And this Irish side, yep, look at the trophy, chaps. Have a look. Have a look at what you're playing for, because you are 40 minutes away from making history. And they've very much been worth every single one of their 19-point lead. Their 22 points have been scored in pretty impressive fashion. And Peter O'Mahony, who's been an absolute trooper all season, has just been superb once again tonight. And, I mean, Bundy Aki, for me, is having an absolute blinder. Johnny Sexton's having an absolute blinder. And we are just a few seconds away from kick off the second half. Terry G says the Baby Blacks haven't been that great over the few years. Mark Sony said New Zealand doing up and unders 22 meters from the try line. They got attacking advice from Nienaber. Listen, Nienaber hasn't had this happen to him yet. Super Rugby really doesn't affect the All Blacks as much as everyone's saying. Ireland are simply just a class team. Captain Crunch says one guy start in the second half. Connections will kick with him and Havili. Well, the kicking off is underway. James Ryan underneath the restart there. Pretty solid. Gibson Park slowing things down. Asking for a couple of blockers. He is outside 22, so he won't be able to find touch. I'll be saying, I don't think I've ever seen the All Blacks not score a try in the first half at home and the score be this large of a gap. Well, Brodie Barrett underneath it, pretty well. Tackled by James Lowe. Right up against the touchline, about a 10-meter line. Pretty flat to Brodie Metallic, trying to get over the gain line, which he does. Quick ball available to Aaron Smith, who goes to Brodie Barrett. Pretty short to Havili. Running the hands, Alex Sevilla throws it out wide to Rico Wani, finds himself on the wing, cuts inside, but Matt Hansen stands tall in the tackle. He does make a few meters, so very good start here from the All Blacks. Now that's a much better line being run there. That's Tuanga Fasi, I think, who's just come on. Lolala was struggling with his knee quite a lot in the first half. Will Jordan popping up to Akira Owani. A couple of gain line carries here. This is much better from the All Blacks. This is what they need. Cody Taylor. Smith going flat to Barrett. Barrett going behind to Havili. He goes to Geordie Barrett. Geordie Barrett cuts inside. Big hit on him from Caelan Doris there. Now very metallic. Irish defense holding it pretty firm now. Now Sam Whitelock gets away from one, but is held up by Bundy Aki. Aaron Smith going to Bowden Barrett. He steps on the inside, finds a bit of half gap. It's cut out by Tyke Burt and Johnny Sexton. Cody Taylor now. This is much better from the All Blacks. So they go into their 13th phase. And this is what kind of they lacked in the first half. It was a bit of phase play. Now Tuanga Fasi, new onto the park. The ball comes loose. Very well picked up by Bowden Barrett. Up towards the 5-meter line. Pick up and go from Akira Owani. Not sure that was the right decision. Pick up and go from Ali Sevilla. He bounced away from Sheehan, but he's still going. Aaron Smith to Sam Kane, inside ball. What kind of camera angle is this? And then looking to try and hold him up as Geordie Barrett. Ball's available for Aaron Smith. Pops up towards Rody Metallic. Advantage, penalty advantage for New Zealand. This is the perfect start for them so far. New advantage. Up against the pole. The 3 points, not what they need. They need the full maximum. Counter-attack now coming from Ireland. Now Bowden Barrett to Will Jordan. Still penalty advantage. Aaron Smith goes. Cody Taylor, the ball comes loose. Sevu Reece comes on the inside. Sevu Reece is just coming up short. It's available for Aaron Smith, who's trying to milk another penalty. I think it's a third penalty. Ireland could be, I think Ireland going to lose a player if they don't be very careful. In many ways, actually, Ireland almost you'd almost want them to score at this stage, because at this stage they're at risk of losing a yellow card. They have scored. Have they? We think we've got grounding. The New Zealand are celebrating. They're walking back to the halfway line. He's consulting what looks like one of the youngest assistant referees on the circuit. We are going to have a look. We are going to have a look. But that is exactly what New Zealand didn't have in the first half. There's a bit of intensity, a bit of gain line success. Yeah, I think there is grounding. I think this is going to be awarded. And Artie Severe, who's worked tirelessly all game, is the man that does get the breakthrough. Geordie Barrett with the conversion, yeah. Well, that's the start that New Zealand needed. They're still 14 points, potentially 12 points behind. 12 points behind. That's a very good conversion from Geordie Barrett, and they had to score first. But I mean, we must have seen about 20 odd phases there. And apparently Tuangafasi's gone down, which is not a good look considering the fact that he's just come onto the park. Well, he is up on his feet. JP is saying Irish players are leveled up playing the S teams in the URC. Mukesh says, we're lucky Ireland not playing us. I hope New Zealand don't get rid of the Ian Foster. He's doing a great job. James Lowe's New Zealand born, right? I think, yeah, I can't remember if he's New Zealand born. He definitely grew up in New Zealand for quite a bit, and then before he went to Ireland. 123 says, I hope that All Blacks win. I support all Southern Hemisphere sides. Here comes the big comeback that New Zealand are known for. Well, there goes Tuangafasi. He's going to have to go for an HIA. Jean says, looks like the Red Bulls and Orange Slices at halftime got the All Blacks cooking in the second half. Obviously, Ireland Ireland can't score if All Blacks hold the ball. Why they didn't change to this game plan in the first half, I don't know. And Kutler says, now the All Blacks have hope. We're in for an interesting half. Yeah, well, for Ireland's perspective, they need to score. They need to score the next points, even if it's a penalty. Right, restart here from Ireland. And James Lowe is chasing hard. Makes the tackle on Metallic. Tester here for Smith for Keenan, who just takes it very well under there, under a bit of pressure there. Ireland doing well to keep the ball. First time they'll have their hands to the ball. Dan Sheehan was a very willing ball carrier in the first half, once again being used. Gibson Park to James Ryan. Strong carry from him, strong tackle as well. And Aaron Smith has come away and given a really silly penalty. That's really, really poor from Aaron Smith, who thought the ball was out, and he's gone and impeded Gibson Park and gifted them a penalty. Right, and Sexton puts Ireland just outside the 22. Big opportunity for them to hit back. They go to Tyburn. Looking to said the more here, Ireland, but they do use it quickly to Sheehan. Inside ball to James Lowe, but it's well read. Gives some park to Sheehan. Strong carry there from Robbie Henshaw. Gibson Park. And I think it's a penalty advantage there as well. No, it's a penalty advantage. Sorry, I lied, because it's a penalty for the All Blacks. And Artie Severe has come out and says, basically, I'm going to do it single-handedly. Scores the try, wins the penalty there. What are you doing, you prawn? All of a sudden, a couple of more battles being won there by New Zealand. Ireland very much on the attack, and RDCV gets over the ball very quickly with Robbie Henshaw. It's a good break from Henshaw. And the big thing that John Platchey said, they need to sort their line out. So they do win it there. They use it quickly, though. RDCV is finding himself in the centres, no options, so he puts his head down. He's wrapped up by Kalen Doris. And Johnny Sexton's gone down. Oh, interception from Tyke Byrne. Quick ball needed. Comes from Peter Omani. Tyke Furlong at first receiver. Retallick is over the ball there. It is available for Gibson Park there. They've got no Johnny Sexton, who went down with a bit of a collision early on, so they were playing without a fly half. Gibson Park goes to Tyke Byrne. Tyke Byrne puts his head down. Wasn't much intent in that, to be fair to him. Now Sexton is back up. Long ball over the top. And Lowe does well to keep it in before he stabs onto his left foot. That's a bit of a pointless kick from James Lowe. He almost basically panicked, and he gives the possession away. Now Bowden Barrett sees a bit of space in behind. Mac Hansen, he's turned him. I mean, really, James Lowe, why would you do that? There's no need for that. No need. I mean, it was such a good interception there from Tyke Byrne. And they just, I mean, James Lowe just cut inside, recycled it. But the Sexton's gone down, which is a bit worrying for Ireland. I'm telling you right now, he's going to play the full 80 if he can. Couple of concussion issues Johnny Sexton's had. They almost thought he was going to have to fly back after the first test, but he was medically cleared. And he's down now. I think he's going to continue. Joey Carberry is up. And yeah, I mean, the fear that must be in him right now. He looks pretty calm, but I can tell you right now, one of those games where you want to come on, but you also don't want to come on. Cut away yet in the change room. Johnny Sexton was giving his last remarks. I think he's going to be okay to continue, though. Yep, he's going to be he's not going off the field. You're going to have to carry him. You're going to have to carry him off on a blooming stretcher. You're going to try and get him off the field now. Sheehan goes to Omani. It's a good line-out win there. And Josh Flair breaks from the base of the maul. It's a very strong carry from him. Now Gibson Park goes to the boot. Mac Hansen chasing strong. And it comes off Mac Hansen, but it falls into the hands of Sam Whitelock. Bowden Barrett now trying to carry himself. He is wrapped up inside New Zealand territory. Aaron Smith going to the short side of Artie Severe. Inside to Roddy Retallick. Seeing a much better offload game so far from the All Blacks this half. Aaron Smith thinking about going to the short side, but Geordie Barrett decides to go himself. Almost up to the halfway line. Brody Retallick is down. Now Bowden Barrett stabs a kick in behind and goes straight down the throat of Hugo Keenan. He's going to return the favour to Bowden Barrett. Wow, what's Bowden? He's got Sevi Reese on his left. He's looking for distance. Hugo Keenan is well positioned. He's got Mac Hansen to the right shoulder. Again, looking for a bit of distance. Up against the touchline towards Geordie. He runs in field. It's a good bit of juggling there from Hugo Keenan, but he does manage to keep it. So a bit of a ping-pong battle going on between the two. Now Will Jordan this time going to the right-hand side. He has turned low, but he's got a lot of time. And Lowe's going to set to the 22, so he can find touch. And it's not a terrible touch finder. But Brody Retallick is down for the All Blacks. Doesn't look particularly happy. Well, we've got a head collision here from Andrew Porter and Brody Retallick. Oh, he's not happy, chaps. He's not going to continue here. Not the most attractive chap is Brody Retallick. I mean, an absolute warrior of a player, and he's got a massive shine, but he's going to have to leave the park. It's a head collision with Andrew Porter. So we are going to have a TMO. We saw a red card for a head collision last week. So now we're going to look at potential foul play. Jean says, Artie basically said, you know what, guys, I'll do this myself. Christ says, just found out in Auckland, New Zealand, they are scheduled a power cut for later on today. So we're not the only ones getting power cuts down here. Yeah, I think Andrew Porter could be a bit of trouble here. So we're going to see a yellow card, which I think is the right decision. There is head-on contact. It's very much not the same as last week. No, I think a yellow is actually fair. I think last week the differences is that Brady Retallick has run on the angle and Porter's basically just stood up and absorbed the tackle. He's basically run into him as opposed to last week. Where we saw the tackler actually running leading with his head. And so that's what they were saying, is that the level of danger, there was a bit of mitigation. So basically you started a red card and you worked down. Right, big opportunity here from the All Blacks. No Andrew Porter. They're on the 22. Oh, he's broken through as Akira Awani. Akira Awani's over. Well, that's a disaster piece of defending from Ireland. New Zealand have had the perfect start to time with it down to 14 men. And could we yet see the comeback? They scored twice within 10 minutes. And with a conversion to come, they could have reduced the 19-point deficit to just 5 points. This is really poor defending. Sheehan, they slipped Sheehan and gets past in front of Flair. And then Matt Hansen as well. Very ordinary. I mean, Matt Hansen can't really be being stepped by Akira Awani. I mean, come on, chaps. Look at the size of him. And he's just done him. Yeah, I know. That's a pretty poor attempt from Matt Hansen. Well. Is the Irish dream going to turn into a nightmare? Right, big next sort of 15 minutes here for Ireland. If they could score next, then I think they could do it. But at the moment, momentum all one way, and it's the way of the home side. New Zealand have just under half an hour to complete what would be a sensational comeback. What a test match we're going to see here. I mean, a whole different, I mean, two different halves, but I mean, the contrast. Ireland could not do anything wrong in the first half. New Zealand doing everything wrong. In the second half, Ireland haven't even had the ball. And New Zealand have just been a bit of like New Zealand of old. You know, we're seeing very good carries. We're seeing really slick handling, pinpoint kicking like that one there. And it's a knock on there from Ireland. And another knock on from Watchalong. So we will have a scrum. Well, they had to call advantage over, actually. So right, so no Andrew Porter, which means that Ireland are going to have to sacrifice somebody to be able to bring on a replacement. Look, I mean, the replacement they're bringing on is going to be Cian Healy, so plenty of experience there. The question is, though, who are they going to sacrifice? Well, big scrum, yep. Cian Healy, 118 tests for Ireland. So, I mean, to be able to bring him on for Andrew Porter is an absolute pleasure. The question is who they sacrifice. I'm seeing Bundy Aki on the flank there, so I think they've taken off Josh van der Fleer. I'm not seeing a red scrum cap. Yeah, van der Fleer's gone off. So it's an Irish scrum, and I think look, number one is the fact that this will run down a bit of time. So Bundy Aki's on the flank, so you're not going to see him crash ball. I reckon. I mean, James Lowe is standing directly behind Ireland, so I think that's where you're going to see. Well, they pop it up to Gibson Park, who brings down Lowe on the angle. Lowe gets away from the first defender. Now Gibson Park, quick ball. Bundy Aki, almost up to the 22 here, Ireland. First bit of opportunity they've really had this half. And they've got a penalty advantage as well. Well, that's what they'll need. Henshaw cuts inside. Gets the offload away to Kalen Doris. Quick hands here. Sexton goes to Hugh Keenan. Looking for the offload on the outside. And Will Jordan comes in and steals the ball. And I think he was all right to do that, but they are going to get back for the penalty. And this will be a perfect opportunity for Ireland to wind the clock down. They'll take the 3 points here. They'll put themselves 8 points ahead. And I think that's exactly what Ireland need right now. So first of all, they need to slow things down. Second of all, be able to hit back a little bit, put some points on the board. Yeah, they're going to take the 3 points. Slow down a bit of the momentum from New Zealand, I think. Good morning from Wales. Hope you guys are well. Also, on a side note, we're not going to be able to do the Australia game, unfortunately. We will try and do a review of it, but we won't be able to do a watch along. But we will obviously be live 2 o'clock. Our coverage does start for the Bok game, so not too long until that game will get underway, or that coverage rather. Right, Johnny Sexton winding the clock down to less than 5 minutes. It's bang in front. I mean, he doesn't get much more central than this, so he should have absolutely no issue whatsoever. And he does slot it as you'd expect. More to the point, he's used up a minute and he's added a couple of points. So 8 points now, the difference, more than a converted try. But I think the biggest thing is that it's just to slow down the momentum. I mean, it's been one-way traffic at the moment. And Ireland, to be fair, look pretty good again whenever they've had the ball. They've looked good when they've had the ball. The question is just, can they retain it and can they sort of stem the flow of what is now looking like a very dangerous New Zealand side? A good retake there from James Ryan. James Gibson Park will now start playing a bit of a territory game. Goes to the boot, lifts the high. James Lowe's chasing hard. Jordy Barrett pretty safe underneath the high ball there. Peter O'Mahony making the tackle. Smith going to Tupou Vai, who's on for I think he's on for Metallic, yeah. Almost a bit of a knock on there. Kirawani sitting down Kian Healy, being brought down by Kalen Doris. And a penalty for Ireland. That is huge. While Tyke Byrne take a flip and bow. In fact, he could very well be man of the series. I mean, he was absolutely colossal last week, as was Peter O'Mahony. And this week, Tyke Byrne again. Had a bit of a more quiet game. You haven't quite seen what he did last week, but just a couple of very clutch moments. We remember we saw that interception in the first half. In fact, in the second half, actually, I think we saw the interception. Winning the penalty on the ground there, very important penalty. That's back-to-back penalties once again. And they're gonna take the 3 points here. Sexton's gonna back himself on the halfway line. James saying some great timing with the hands by the Irish this game. Yeah, the handling has been unbelievable. Ireland very much playing the way that everybody expects the Springboks to play. Well, we've got 13,800 subscribers on the. So I mean, I reckon we get past 14,000 today, which is gonna be quite cool. We could really push. If we have a stream like last week, maybe we can push for 15,000, which would be pretty epic. But big kick this year from Johnny Sexton. 2.5 minutes left on the yellow card. So if they were to slot this, they'd restart with probably another 2 minutes on the clock. But if he can get this on the halfway line to make it an 11-point gap, then that is done a lot to dent the New Zealand effort. New Zealand going to need a big impact from their bench. Well, it's pretty much on the center spot here from Johnny Sexton. Will he have the distance? He struck it well. Oh, it's come off the crossbar. Oh, my goodness. Drama. I mean, it's a fantastic effort. And literally... well, great take there by Hugo Keenan. Well, Ireland back on the attack. How close was that? I mean, it doesn't get any closer, does it? I mean, the direction was perfect. I mean, he literally hit the blooming little yellow line on the crossbar. Oh, it's a good take there from Henshaw. Well, it's a let off there for New Zealand. Good continuity here. Now Sexton goes to the boot. That's very well weighted. It's going to land just far of the 22. Geordie Barrett, that's a brilliant diving take from him. All Blacks with possession. Ali Sevilla goes inside. He's in the spot. Will Jordan. Well, Will Jordan needs a bit of company. Sevu Reece is after him, and is he going to go himself? He's going to go himself, you know. I mean, that is ludicrous. He's just gone the length of the field. He's just rounded Johnny Sexton, who had absolutely no chance of catching him. Well, I mean, well breakthrough play for the. I mean, and you talk about a game of margins. Ireland have gone from being 11 points ahead to all of a sudden, it could be a 1-point game. I mean, he just went to the outside of Sexton, put the gun down, and the pace is just unbelievable. It was such a good line being run by him. Yeah, unfortunately, Johnny Sexton, maybe 10 years ago he might have got there, but not the. If there was one Irish player that you wanted to see ahead of you, it probably would be Sexton at the moment. He just doesn't have the raw pace anymore. Well, it's a 3-point game. All of a sudden, the yellow card has come in very, very handy for New Zealand. When Andrew Porter left, it was a 12-point game. By the time he gets back, it's going to be a 1-point game. So he's going to need a big shift. Very important kick here from Geordie, the skinhead Barrett. And that's a pretty... I think it's missed. Yeah, it has missed. It's gone off to the right-hand side. Pretty ordinary kick there, to be honest. Right, well, here comes a couple of players. First of all, Andrew Porter back on the field, which means the addition of Josh van der Fleer. But also Rob Herring, very, very experienced hooker, comes on as well. What a remainder of the half we have going. Camper saying that's just what they could do. You start showing the replay. He misses this, chaps. Right, Sexton's going to go short. It wasn't a bad option. I think it's been knocked backwards there from New Zealand. Sam Kane now. It's a strong carry from him. Momentum firmly with the home side, but they still are 3 points behind. Also, no Aaron Smith. So Richie Mwanga's come on for Sevi Reese. But we've got a knock on here. Yeah, I thought there was a knock on, I must admit. So Wayne Barnes has picked it up. Fakatava is on for Aaron Smith. And we've now seen Richie Mwanga come on for Sevi Reese. So a bit of a rejig to the back line. I imagine we'll see Geordie Barrett on the wing, Bowden Barrett at full back, and we'll see Mwanga at 10. I don't really like this. I mean, they're interviewing the Ireland assistant coach. I mean, they're midway through the half yet, chaps. He didn't do his job. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. Kutley says All Blacks are the hyenas of rugby, living with scraps. Right, Gibson Park off the back of the scrum, brings in Hugh Keenan at first receiver. Who gets the ball to it? Bundy Aki is 5 meters short. And it's a penalty. That could be a yellow card, you know. That could be a yellow card. Offside, the penalty on the 5 meter. Sam Kane's going to have a what a move off the back of the scrum there. Really strong carry from Bundy Aki. Good work there from Hugo Keenan as well. And now it's decision time for Sexton. Will they go for touch? I mean, it's very, very kickable. Yeah, what an angle being run by Bundy Aki. Really good work there from Hugo Keenan as well. He's not impressed with the decision. They're going to go for touch. Ireland will go for touch. The big moment in the game here. Massive, massive moment. Well, number one, they found it. Their rolling ball's been really good tonight. And it's going. It's going. Heron's got himself. And he scored! He scored! Ireland are over. They've hit back. Goodness me, this test match is on a knife edge. And they've absorbed the pressure. Andrew Portel must have been working really hard because they conceded 2 tries with the yellow card. They're back to a full contingent. They backed themselves to get the job done. And they're over. And Rob Herring has come on. And his first intervention is to break off. And this is good work by him, by the way, because there's a lot of work to do. He's gone past 3 players. He's taken Fakatava. I mean, what a moment from Rob Herring. And the reach. Ah, it's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. Herring. Well, he'll remember that. If they win this, he'll remember that. Look what it means to Andy Farrell. Jack Curran on now. Well, Marnie has been replaced by Jack Conan. Tyke Furlong barking out the instructions. Big kick this year from Johnny Sexton. They could extend the lead to 10 points. 15 minutes to go. I mean, what a test match. What a series. This could go down as one of the best series of all time. Even though the All Blacks haven't played particularly good rugby all the time, they have had their moments. And Sexton, well, how's your metal, chap? It's pretty good. He's nailed it. Ireland 32, New Zealand 22. This game has ebbed and flowed, ebbed and flowed. It looked like New Zealand. I mean, the momentum they had, we thought we were going to see the inevitable. We thought we were going to see another New Zealand comeback. But Ireland have responded. And with 14 minutes to go, Mo'unga goes deep to Bundy Aki. Ireland now just need to defend. They just need to defend. For 14 minutes. Gibson Park goes back to James Lowe. James Lowe will bring out that left boot of his. It's so handy. It's a really good touch find as well. Bowden Barrett will not take it quickly. So New Zealand will have a line on the halfway. To have that James Lowe option is absolutely massive for Ireland. Dane Cole's onto the park. I think we've also seen Kieran Treadwell on the park for Ireland. It was just Jack Conan. It's just Jack Conan. Fakatava short to Havili, going to Dalton Papali'i. Right. Lalo, he had to come back onto the park after Tungafasi had to go off early on. Will Jordan, the try scorer, what a try it was. Now Mo'unga trying to pull some strings, but Robbie Henshaw has lined up Bowden Barrett. That's a really important tackle. And Mac Hansen's over that ball trying to compete on it as well. But it is available. Robbie Henshaw's been brilliant today. His defensive effort has been sublime. A bit of a masterclass. Mo'unga now trying to turn Keenan, who decides to mark it. That's intelligent. But then he taps quickly and goes to James Lowe. Lowe does not find touch. Needed to find touch. Mo'unga goes inside to Bowden Barrett. They've got all their playmakers on the park now, do New Zealand. Bowden Barrett lifts it high. Will Jordan is chasing. But Gibson Park goes and knocks it on forward. Forced to Fakatava. Gibson Park does make the tackle. No advantage. They will go to the scrum. I think Mac Hansen's apparently stayed down. Well, there goes Bundy Aki. What a game he had. What an absolute stormer he had. And on this blind side is Jordan. He's just been held up short. Tupo via this time. He's in up to the 5 meter. Penalty for offside as well. This game is not over yet. Ball comes loose to Fakatava under a bit of pressure. Now Richie Mo'unga under a bit of pressure. Runs to Rob Herring, the try scorer. Well, big decision here. So with 11 minutes to go, there's a 10-point advantage. Do they go for the try? They're going for the 3 points. The problem is the 3 points means that they still convert a try. They need more than a converted try afterwards to be able to win the match. Well, we've got a debutant. We have got a debutant for New Zealand. Roger Tavasashek is on. Kean Healy stays. Andrew Porter leaves the park, as does Tyke Furlong. Their job is done. They've left the park with a 10-point lead. Andrew Porter will be frustrated that yellow card because of how costly it almost became. Fun fact about Tavasa Sheikh, he's actually a dual international because he played 20 matches for the New Zealand Rugby League side between 2019 and 2013 and 19. 29 years old, playing rugby union now for the Blues. Made the switch. That's a huge scrum for New Zealand. Big pressure there. Fakatava and the pressure there from Ireland was immense. Akira Awani picks up and goes. Big scrum there from the Irish pack there. A bit of a messy ball there for Artie Severe. And a penalty for Ireland as well. I think it's a neck roll. Well, that is it. Could that be the game, in fact? I mean, it was a massive scrum. The defense there, driving New Zealand back, forcing the error. I think it's a neck roll and a clean out. Trying to look at it. Yeah, it is. It is. Grabbing the neck of Ty Byrne. This game is crazy, John. This is what time for a debut. This could be make or break. He started in rugby like a lot of league players. We're now having a bit of running repairs here on a couple of the Irish boots. And one of the, I mean, if you could pick a scrum off to see out a match, Conor Murray would be pretty high up on that list. Gibson Park has revolutionized this Irish team. The combination he has with Johnny Sexton is what makes them so dangerous. Absolutely terrific player. 30 years old, so still plenty we're going to see from him. But I think we can see a British. I think he's going to be a British Irish line. He's played for the Maori All Blacks. Did Gibson Park. Now playing straight for Ireland. He came in 2020. Was his debut, and he's just changed the game. Yeah, I think he'll be in the next Lions tour. I think it's what Australia 2025. I think we're gonna see Gibson Park there. Oh, it's a skew throw. It's a skew throw from Rob Herring. I mean, how many more twists is his tail gonna have? Yeah, it's very skew from Rob Herring. The try scorer, how to go from 0 to 0. Well, last scrum was pretty big from Ireland. Finley Beelan put in a monster effort. Hanley says Wallabies and Box and Argentina are going to lose just like this. Oh, love your optimism, Hanley. Alcibia goes inside to Fakatava. Dawes had to release, and he does. Whitelock coming back in the side and having to play a full 80. Probably wasn't part of the plans, to be fair. There's space on wide. Mac Hunter comes off very quickly. Severe. Keith Earls makes the tackle. New Zealand passing to the inside of 22. Dan calls the first receiver, goes straight to Mwanga. Mwanga goes to Vishek. Will Jordan goes himself. Ty Byrne has turned it over. What a player. And Conor Murray now goes back to James Lowe in the pocket. James Lowe's looking for distance. That's a fantastic touch finder. That really is. But Ty Byrne, take a bow. Take a bow. What an important intervention that is. That's the second time as well. All over that ball. Will Jordan was a little bit isolated. Probably shouldn't have gone himself, to be fair. Big line out here for New Zealand. 7 minutes left. 7 minutes left. Every single Irish penalty, every single Irish turnover is one step closer to them being just the third side to go to New Zealand and win a 3-match test series. Tuvasi Sheck there. Uppering at centre. Inside ball, Dan Coles. Johnny Sexton trying to drive him back. I mean, the defense here from Ireland has to be noted here. First of all, Rob Herring all over that ball, but it's cleaned out. Fakatava going to Whitelock. Every tackle they make is a one step closer. Just got to wind the clock down. 6 minutes away. Papali'i. Jack Conan trying to jackal the ball. Havili trying to go into the front foot. Up quickly was Feeney Biam and Drake Conan as well, driving them back a few meters. Bowden Barrett trying to get in between two players, well wrapped up by Herring and James Ryan, I think it was. They've got the numbers out wide. Mac Hansen up against Owani. He needs a bit of help there. They're on the front foot here, All Blacks. Artie Severe, what a second half he's had. They're going into their 11th phase, 12th phase. Oh, it's a huge tackle on Tuvasi Sheck there, I think it was. Front foot forward to Barrett to Will Jordan. They've got a penalty advantage as well for offside. 21, it's against Conor Murray. They got Lualala, who was pretty stationary. And Will Jordan's lost it forward. So penalty right in front of the poles. They can't afford to go for the 3 points, though. Take it quickly. Artie Severe is by himself. Ty Byrne once again is looking for it. It is available for Takatava. It's a big counteract though from Ty Byrne. They've won it. Ty Byrne is just on a mission here. Give that man everything. Give him the keys to the city. Give him an Irish Legends. I mean, what a player. That's 3 interventions. Match-saving interventions he's just made in the last 5 minutes itself. Well, Johnny Sexton has been replaced. So Joe Carberry will have 5 minutes to see out. 5 minutes away are Ireland. Ian Foster, this is not the type of thing you want to have on your CV. I think he's in trouble, actually. I genuinely do. I think he's the only coach who I think could generally get the sack before the World Cup next year. Well, a lot of pressure on Fakatava there. The speed of the Irish defense has really disrupted New Zealand. Oh, and an interception. Well, Joe Carberry's first contribution is interception. And with nothing on, Robbie Henshaw will just hack it downfield. It's well caught there by Bowden Barrett. He goes inside to his brother. They're going to have to run it, though. And he's a bit isolated, shows Geordie Barrett. They managed to pin the All Blacks back inside the 22. Chip over the top from Bowden. And it bounces pretty good. And Hugo Keane has just plucked that from the sky. I don't know how he's done that. And presents it very well. Ireland with possession. Lowe puts it on the boot, goes himself. Mo'unga's under a lot of pressure. He can't jot it down. He will have to jot it down. So it will be a goal line drop. Really good option there from Lowe. Just chipping in behind. Putting the pressure on the All Blacks. The restart has fooled everyone, including the camera. But Hugo Keenan, he's been good tonight. In fact, there have been very few Irish players who haven't been particularly good. Bit of a quiet match from maybe like a Mac Hansen. But apart from that, it's been a very long list of performers. Josh van der Fleer, try scorer. Short ball there to Cian Healy. 1 penalty. And that will be the game. Inside ball to Jack Conan was well read. Conor Murray. Giving it to Carberry. Gives it to Josh van der Fleer on the angle. Van der Fleer gives it to Jack Conan. A lot of C's in there. Van der Fleer scrum off. Carberry out to James Ryan. He's also been pretty solid today. Ball's available there for Conor Murray. Finley Bealham. 2 minutes left now. As I said, one penalty and that would be the ball game. Eleventh phase, ball over the top to Keith Earls. Keith Earls steps inside. He's still going as Keith Earls. Conor Murray to Jack Conan. Jack Conan first receiver. All flow to Josh van der Fleer. And it's a penalty to New Zealand. It was a really good win on the ball. I'm not sure who it was. And Dane Coles wants to go take it himself quickly. He does. Gives it away to 2.5, but they're a long way away. And with 10 seconds to go, Ireland have basically done it. Oh, and Akira Awani has knocked it on. Well, that's it. That could very well be it. 1 minute left. Look what it means to them. Sexton is literally bouncing up and down. Literally. Ty Byrne might have had the best 10 minutes we've ever seen in rugby. I mean, this is an unbelievable. I mean, this, as I said, I think Johnny Sexton will probably say this is probably the highlight of his career. Sam Cane, on the other hand, will be staring down a barrel because I think he's under a lot of pressure. There's going to be a lot of Guinness drunk tonight. This Irish side are going to be going, this time tomorrow, they'll still probably be going. Kuda says, go Ireland, you like the thing. I think they did it. McConnell only says, I fear for SA now. We're playing bad rugby. France and Ireland are playing good rugby, and we're on the same pool in the Rugby World Cup. The Rugby World Cup's a long way away. I mean, they're all in tears. Peter O'Mahony's in tears. I mean, he's having a breakdown on the side there. I mean, O'Mahony's nowhere. He's just sobbing. He's sobbing. I mean, all the Irish guys are celebrating. We still haven't had the scrum here. Can we finish this game here, please? Five seconds left. This is it. Inside ball to Mac Hansen. As long as it's available. Conor Murray's going to keep this out himself. He'll definitely want the honor of doing it. No, he goes back to Joe Carberry. And they've done it. They've done the impossible. Ireland have gone to New Zealand and have become just the third side to win a 3-match series. Final score, 32-22. That is sensational. Ty Byrne, incredible. James Lowe, solid. Johnny Sexton, special. This is one of the best series victories that, I mean, this is something you'll tell your kids about as an Irish supporter. What a match, what a series, what a start to the day. Well, this is the start to the day, then I think we are in for quite a big day ahead. Unfortunately, we won't be live for the Australia game, but thank you very much for joining me for this. Please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe. We will start our live coverage at 2 o'clock for the South Africa versus Wales game. And if this is the pre-show, then I think we are in for a pretty big treat later. Yeah. We'll see you guys later. Please do smash like on the video, as I said. Thanks very much for hanging out. And I'll chat to you guys all very soon.